Okay, it has started. Okay, good afternoon, everybody, one and all present over here. Today we have with us Yogesh Kumar Oza sir. Oza sir is having an experience of over 6 decades. He is a seasoned and renowned academician, researcher, and environment enthusiast. Sir is a retired professor from Environmental Engineering and Chemical Engineering Department of LD College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. Sir has published several papers in reputed journals. Sir is also associated with Gujarat Pollution Control Board as a technical committee member since last 14 years. Sir recently received the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award from the Association of Health, Safety and Environment, Gujarat. We are extremely privileged to have him as an expert for this session. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Very good afternoon to all of you. We are discussing a certain things which is based on our Gita. You know, in our Gita, three type of uh, yoga is given by the Lord Krishna. One is Karma Yoga. Second, he says about Bhakti Yoga. And lastly, he says about the Gnana Yoga means knowledge. So first he said about the work, second how to join with the work, and thirdly how we can utilize our knowledge in the work. Here you see they have a plan as it is Gita. First they have give you knowledge regarding the environment engineering, chemical engineering, legislations, everything. Then they give some practical experience about the environmental systems. And lastly, which work we have to do, that is how to perform audit in the industry. You see, performance means the application. And you are knowing that who is the engineer? You know a definition of engineer? Engineer is the man who can apply a knowledge of science. That's why they are getting a more pay and more amount about the in these systems. So in the application, knowledge is required, but with the knowledge, mind is also required. Because suppose you say a Boyle's law. What is the Boyle's law? That inversely proportional of volume to the pressure at constant temperature. This is the law that we are knowing, everybody is knowing, scientist is knowing. But how to apply this law in the system of engineering? It is very important. And in application, knowledge is required, but with the knowledge, how we can understand the knowledge, it is very important. Understanding power is very much important, because when you are going for audit, then you are not finding the system which you have discussed here in the all the presentation, but this knowledge is useful for this particular activity. So this activity is very much important, and for this, knowledge is very important. Knowledge is important, and how to utilize this knowledge, means how to join the knowledge and your work, it is very much important. That's why they are keeping first session is of knowledge. Second session, which I have to discuss, that is the application of knowledge which you have got from the different speakers. Suppose first speaker is Pandya, Jigna Pandya. What he says, he explained everything about the audit. That what is the audit, why it comes, who is responsible for this, and what is the construction of audit, who will do the audit, everything he has discussed. So it is the primary requirement, because when you are not knowing about the audit, and if you are going on these systems, then it is not useful or useful to you. That's why in the application, knowledge is required, but most important, how to explain, how to understand the knowledge and you can explain to the other system, other peoples. It is very important. So my request is you to that which knowledge you have got here, you read carefully and try to understand it. The why we are doing audit? Audit, what is the result of audit? Result of audit is to make a clean environment by the industries and their activity. But what is the cleaning? Clean means what? It should not be 100% clean. That's why government gives some limit. Okay, COD is 100. Okay, fine. Why 100? Why not 200? That type of question should become in your mind. Then and then you can become a good auditor. Every time if you see any things, immediately question arise in your mind, why it is, what it is, how it is. You see, our development from childhood to this age is based on only three words. That is what, why, and how. First, you see, uh, boys, small boys, what they are asking, what is this? If you say it is tube light, okay, fine. After some times, he asks, what is this tube light? Why it is tube light? And if we explain this, then it's all right. But when he reached to the college, at that time, he said, what is this? Why it is and how it is. It is very much important to develop yourself in these three words. And if you have developed yourself in these three words, then you are success in any field. If you go for any field, you will be succeed. So, and it will come by understanding the system. So every time you try to understand what is going on, how it going on, who is the responsible for this, how can I make its responsibility to make a clean system. That is the work of auditor. You are not police. You have not to make any statement that I will see you. No, you have to help the industries. Also, you have to help the government. That is the work of auditor. You see, chartered accountant, what chartered accountant doing in this work? They advise the people that in your account, in your balance, you manage by this way so you can save the money. So by this way, we will learn our this topic of activity, how to methodology of conduct environment audit means all the methodology. In methodology, we will discuss in three parts. One part which we have studied by different presentation, and second part, this presentation, this knowledge, how can you apply in the industries for audit, and third, how will you perform the audit, actual audit. So in this way, in first part, we are discussing what is the audit. You see here it is written, environment audit is systematic presentation as this. But what is the this? What is the use of this? By understanding the definition, it will not solve the problem. I want to know by audit, what can I change in the systems, in the climate of industry? That is audit. This is a theoretical definition, but experimental definition is this. I have to make certain efforts in the industries by using my knowledge so that industries will work efficiently, it control all type of pollutants, and climate of industry as well as outside of industries is as per the requirement of human life. This is the audit. So by this way, you have to understand everything about the audit. Now, second slide. Yes, you see, now in my environment audit, what are the steps involved in environment audit? That we will discuss afterwards. Before that, we will discuss that how the all the topic which you have learned will help you in the audit. Suppose first electrochemical technology for water and wastewater. What is this? How you can use this knowledge in the audit? Electrochemical reaction mean technology. How chemical reaction take a part in the system. What is electrochemistry? How electron is transferred from one state to another state and it participate in the reaction. During the reaction, what type of systems are occur, what type of uh, process are occur, that also you know. Then you should know rate of chemical reaction, how collision occur in the between two atoms. That is the use of electrochemistry in the our audit system. Then advanced instrumental for analytical treatment. You know all the name of instrument. You know its fundamental of instrument. You know how it use of instrument. But where we use this in audit? You see, in audit, we will find a different type of sample which have a pollutant and that can be utilized, analyzed by the system. Either it is advanced system or conventional system. Generally, in our audit, we are using conventional system for the analysis. But after sometimes or sometimes, we require instrumental analysis also. So by the analysis, what you will get? You will get result. Up to this, all right. Then what is the use of result? To interpret the result, it is very important. Suppose you are interpreting the wastewater contain 1000 COD value. What will you interpret? It will give us idea that the wastewater have a organic component which are oxidized, and for oxidation they require 100 milligram of oxygen. It is interpretation. Only knowing a COD value, it will not help you in the audit. And in audit, when you are going to the industries, when you are visiting the industries, and you find that yes, COD is 1000, immediately in your mind, questions should be arise how this 1000 is come. What type of reactions are occur in the industries? Whether this reaction gives a product of 100% of 100% use of the raw material. If it is yes, then there should not be any pollution. How you will get it? It means some problem in the process. Now process, what is the process? That should be knowing by the chemical engineer, and process engineering is very much important for this subject. So I advise to chemical engineer that you read a book of process engineering, and in process engineering, what is the chemical reaction, and the equilibrium occurred in the chemical, because equilibrium play a very important role in the conversion of raw material to product and other parties of pollutant. So that the in this subject, when you are reading it, when you are understanding it, when you are using this in audit, at that time you should know first what are the raw materials. Second, how raw materials are react. Third, what are the rate that reaction. After the rate, what factors are affect on the chemical reaction. After the factor is actually required in amount is used or higher. And then third is product and byproduct and pollutant. So you should know what is the difference between byproduct and pollutant. It is very important. Sometimes when you visit your industries and you find that after getting a product, they said we are getting this, but it is our byproduct. You have to fix it, whether it is byproduct or pollutant. If it is byproduct and if you are selling this to the other industries, then why I get 1000 COD? So this is the work of auditor. By this way, when you read this topic, when you are understanding this topic, at that time questions should be arise in your mind, that how can utilize my knowledge in the systems. Then solvent recovery. What is the solvent recovery? Why we are doing this? You see, solvent recovery play a very important role in the industries. Why? Because if solvent recovery is not as per the law, which is to be given by the a chemical engineer who has designed this system, then it is to be a pollutant. Then all this topic you have to understand legislation. You should know a law, water law 174, 81, air law, then the solid waste law, everything you should know. And you should advise the industries, as per this rule, this water is not treated in your system. Now, after all this thing, we will discuss that how can we perform the audit, means theoretical part. So this are the theoretical part of audit. You have to work as a, this is theory. But in practical, when you are visiting your industries, at that time you will find different problem. Because industries have a problem every day is new problem they find. What is the reason of this? Because it depends upon the purity of material, water which they are using, factor which are using these systems, everything. As per my experience, I find in one industry when we visit, at that time they say, sir, our industries is perfectly, there is no smell, no odor. Okay, it is very fine. And actually it is not that, but some people which are live near that industry in village people, they come and they said every night we are getting of odor from this industry. So this is the different problem. At that time you have to advise the industries, odor is there, no problem, but you have to give a solution. How can you control the odor? At that time you have to find odor is of what? What chemical are responsible for odor? How can we control it? Everything you have to think, and then you have to advise the industry. It is the work of auditor. Now, second experience I will tell you. When I visit a Padra Metro Industries, they are manufacturing a SH acid and VS. They are transferring their product from the place where they are manufacturing to the packing department by a pipe and creating a vacuum. When I visit at that time, they tell, sir, now what happened when we are transporting our product from here to in packing department, this pipe is synchronized. What is the reason? You tell me what will be the reason. You think in your mind. You see, you are creating a vacuum, means it is effect on the pressure. If it is effect on the pressure, then as per Charles law, P where is T means it effect on the temperature also. And if effect on the temperature, then naturally the pipe material will give some deformation in the presence of temperature. And it will not at the immediately, but it will take time. After span of time, we will find the wall of the tube is to be converted into thin from the thick, and this problem is occurred. So this type of, you should know a law. What is the law? When you are, it is very simple. When you find the problem, At that time only you have to think what laws are govern this system. क्या લો અને કામ કરે છે એ શીખો. એટલે તમને નિયમો આવડવા જોઈએ. For that you read a fundamental chemistry, and that knowledge you will get from the environment chemistry by Sawyer and McCarthy. You read it, and beauty of that book is that every chapter have a questions. If you solve that question 100%, you have a knowledge of that. So you see, auditor has to not rely on the only Google, but they have to read continuously. And if you read it, you will get the knowledge. And when you get the knowledge and understanding the knowledge, your application of that knowledge will be 100% perfect. Now you see, theoretical steps are there. One is the planning. What is the planning? You see, everywhere planning is very much important. When you are going from your house to the office or college or industries, at that time you are doing the planning. Suppose you want to reach at 11 o'clock, then you think what work I have to perform during my traveling. I have to go bank, I have to go there, and then according to that you are planning, and you are going to the industries, and you will reach at perfect time. So planning in audit, planning is very much important. And in planning, what is the requirement? First requirement is the CCA of that particular industries, that what government has given to the industries, what they are producing, what are the characteristics, what are the pollutants are to be created, what are the limit is to of that water pollutant or air pollution or anything, that you will get from that. It is not sufficient. Now your duty to assign a work of your 4 members. You know, in audit team 4 members are there. One is the environment engineer, second is chemical engineer, third is chemist, and fourth is microbiologist. And everybody have their own qualification, B environment, B chemical, MSc, BSc chemistry, MSc microbiology. And after the interview of GPCB, you are selected as auditor and you are working as auditor. Now, main member of this audit is environment engineer. All the responsibility lies on the environment engineer. So during the planning, you call all these 3 people and you say that we have to visit these industries, these chemical industries or textile mill or anything. Then you find what product they are manufacturing. You will find many product from the list. Then you read about all these things, and you give 1 day, and you give one diary to each member. They have to write what they have read or what they understand of this. Next day when your meeting is there, at that time you discuss everything about the industries, what they are manufacturing, what is their raw material, how many quantity of water they are using. Because on the Google, if you will give a name of the industries, every detail you will find. Or you read a mark of a chemical engineering. In this also you find everything about the product. That for the preparation of this product, if you will manufacture 1 ton, then this much quantity of water is utilized, and this much quantity of this electricity utilized, this much quantity of fuel is utilized. It is written in the book. So by this way, planning is very much important. And in the planning, I have told you that you read everything theoretical and you get the knowledge about the industries, what work you have to do, what work you have to perform. That also you come to know from the industry, your knowledge. Now, prepare a questionnaires. Okay, according to this, what type of question you will ask? chemical engineer, environment engineer, chemist, and microbiologist. And then you discuss this question among to you that what will be the answer of that question. If your answer is ideal and an industry you find it is not as per your thinking, then you tell to the industry, no, it is wrong. Something is wrong going in your industry. So this is the planning, and planning is very much important. It is also known as pre-audit. Then chemist should know, okay, what type of sample I have to collect. Wastewater, then air pollutant, scrubber agent, or anything, solid waste. So chemist should know I have to collect a sample from the industries of wastewater or solid waste or air pollutant. Then how will I collect? How will I collect? Which method I will use? At that time also you have to discuss in your office that by grape sample you will grape method you will still come collect the sample, or any other method which you know. You know there is three methods are there, and you know name of this. I will give you only one name: grape sampling, by integrated sampling. આ ત્રણ સેમ્પલની છે that you have to remember, and you know that we are asking in the interview to auditor that how many methods are there for collection of wastewater sample, and why we are collecting grape sampling, why we are collecting integrated sampling. So this is very much important to collect a sample, because your method of collection is wrong, then you will get a very unfavorable or favorable result. So this is the duty of chemist, and it is a duty of environment engineer to guide that chemist. You have to collect this method sample by this way. Then you prepare microbiologist. Whether microbiologist has to work in the industries, that you will find from the CCA. If pollution control board had suggested that you have to perform this microbiology test of wastewater, treated wastewater, then you have to do it. If it is not suggested, then you have not to do. So microbiologists know a two test perfectly. One is the MPN, and second, you find out what is the second test. Because in my lecture, I am always giving certain question to the student. Okay, you find out. I will tell you, second method is bioassay test. So microbiologists know how to do MPN test, how to do bioassay test, and the apparatus which are required for that, it is available in our laboratory or not. This is the primary work which you have performed in your office, and after that you go for pre-visit. It is pre-visit. In this you have not do any, you have not to perform, not to do anything, but only the knowledge, or only the point which you write in your diary, that you have to say it is according to my thinking or not. If it is according to you, then it's all right. If it is not, then you ask the engineer of that particular industries that why it is different, what is the reason of this. Then document review. Document review means the document which have a industries compliances, training report, records, air, water and pollution control, all the record they have. They have to maintain a logbook from the entry to the last. In entry, a bore water are there, water sources are there. There is a logbook, and finally, when discharging the wastewater, there is also logbook. So that you have to check, and you take a copy of that logbook of a 4-5 page. From this you come to know the daily use of raw material, daily use of water, daily use of fuel, barabar, that you will get it. So document is also very important, and its policy. What is the policy of industries? Policy they have written in the yellow board, which are outside of the industries, or in the office of the director, they are writing their policies. This is our policy. You make a photograph of that, or you take a copy of that. Then the what type of pollutions they are there: air, water, wastewater, noise pollution, anything. So this is the document review. Means the document which you have prepared in your office, that this type of document we have to require and we have to check it. According to that, you do it. Then site inspection. Now site inspection is going on. So that is pre-visit. In this, you have not to do anything, but only you have to check your plan and the position of industries. They are equal or not. That you have to see. Then interviews. In interviews, you have to talk with the EHS, safety, environment people who is working, who is the in charge of that. Is with this you discuss all the planning which you have made in your office. And if you find it is all right, then no problem. So by this way, and closing the meeting, that is in the last, when you are satisfied with the work which you have to perform there, and which have a plan in your office, that will be okay. Then meeting is closed. Next slide. Now here I have written how to work, how to prepare report, what is the that I have written. All are the theory. You see, you will work as per theory of 70%. 30% you have to work as per your mind, your understanding. Planning means something you have to do this. That is the planning. But audit is the something is different. I have told you that industries have a several problem. Suppose they have given a time that you come on this day and at that time you go there and light is not there, no electricity. What you will do? So the planning will be failed. So industries have so many problems and we have to help them. So problem should be less. So by this way, this is notification, opening meeting, that we have discussed, field work, that also I have discussed, report of drafting, management responsibility, closing meeting, and final audit report distribution. So by this way, you have to work. It is theoretical work. How to work as a practical, that we will discuss afterward. Now, real time required for environment audit. How much time is required? You see, Jigna madam has discussed with you that you have to visit 3 times industries for every 3 seasons: in summer, winter, and monsoon. So why we are using these 3 seasons? What is the reason? You know it. Reason is this: that in summer, affecting factor on the systems are temperature. In winter also temperature, in monsoon also temperature and quantity of water. In monsoon, if you are collecting a sample, wastewater sample from the system, we will find all the pollutants are in the limit without treatment due to rain. Dilution is there. So Pollution Control Board tell you that you visit 3 times, and in 3 times what you will find in the industries, and that you will give in your report, and from your report we come to know, our GPC we come to know that the industries are working perfectly or not. So time requirement is 3 times you have to go, and 1 day or 2 days is sufficient for the visit. How 1 day is used, that I will discuss afterwards when we are discussing about actual how to work as a auditor, how to work in the audit. So in the real time now, in issue gathering, and I have written the CCA and everything I have told you, that is written here. Then how to prepare your plan by using a CCA, that also you written. Collect the necessary information and regarding a raw materials, or that also we have discussed. So all this point we have discussed, but you have to write in your diary by this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, so that when you are discussing with the people in industry, you will able to discuss one by one all the point with the responsible person. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So now we will discuss. Now no slide is required, nothing is required. We are discussing how we can perform the audit. And in this, I have told you 70% only our work will be help us. 30% you will find different problem and different thing in the industries, and you have to solve it. So suppose we have decided that I require 1 day for the uh, visit of industries. Day is fixed, time is to 10 o'clock. You reach at 10 o'clock in the industries. You enter the industries. First work what you have to do? You go and meet the main responsible person of environment, health and safety. You sit with them 30 minutes. You discuss everything with them. Yeah, I want this type of all help. I want electricity plug near the stake. I want to know that whether these flow meter are working or not. Everything you discuss, and in this you require only 30 to 45 minutes. During the discussion, they will offer you a tea and breakfast. You take it, and after 10:45, you have to first visit. You have to distribute the work to your people. That chemist and microbiologist goes to the wastewater treatment plant, and this two engineer is take a round of the industries with the responsible person. So where we go first? First we go to that place from where a water source is available for the industries for using in the process or in the domestic purpose. So in this you will find only 15 minutes. So 11:15 you will be in the place where water tank is there, flow meter is there. If they are taking a water from the GIDC, then flow meter on the GIDC water flow meter on the GIDC water pipeline. Or if they are using a water tank and bore, then flow meter is linked with the a pipeline which are coming out from the tank. Here also you have to see a logbook. You ask that people that give me a logbook, how many times you are using this pump for filling the tank. Second question, what is the capacity of tank? How much time is required to fill that tank by means of this your pump? On pump, everything is written. Okay, discharge of this pump is this much. This is the capacity. Everything you read it, and after reading you match with the logbook, then you will find pump is used more electricity, is that does not discharging a water as per the specification which is given on the pump. Everything you will find it. So you are getting a quantity of water which is utilized by the industry in the all system or all the working places of industry. Now you see, here you are getting a quantity. Where you will use this? This is used in this quantity used in the preparing of water balance. So this is the important for first point is important. You get a data for preparing a water balance, that this much quantity of water is utilized. Then you go, then you start with the discussion with the responsible person that out of this quantity, how much quantity is utilized in the domestic purpose and how much quantity utilized in the industrial purpose. You have a idea in your diary that if product is X, then X require this much quantity of water. If he said this quantity we are utilizing in industry, and if it is according to your thinking or plus minus 10%, then it is all right. If it is more than plus minus 50%, then there is a problem. Either water pump which are discharging to the water on the tank, there is some fault, or logbook is faulty, or the information which is given by the responsible person, it is also faulty. So you see, this is the first problem. Then you try to solve the problem from the logbook, from the flow meter. You see, when you visit the industries, the people will say our flow meter is not working. Then you will ask how, for how many time, how many days it is not working. It will not, it was not working. Then we will say only today. From the flow meter, you come to know at what day, from the what day it will not working. That is your competency, that is your expertise. It is the expertise of auditor, that you will not get a idea from all the lecture or the presentation. You see, in the flow meter, behind the flow meter, uh, either it is magnetic flow meter, behind this, when it up to what time it work and at what time it closed, it will not work. So you will come to know that the you are misleading by the responsible person. So it is the work of auditor. You have to find out. Sometimes they say we have no flow meter. Then how will you calculate the quantity of water? Because small industries are telling like this, but if you are visiting a large industries, then there should not be any problem, because they are corporate office and they are they are maintaining everything. Okay, so here you are getting a water quantity which is to be utilized in the industry and which is to be utilized in the domestic purpose. Then you have to go in the production side, production place, where they are producing their product. Product may have a different soap, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 or 2 or 3, anything. During the walking from this water tank to the place where you want to go, you discuss everything. What type of raw material you are using, what quantity of raw material you are using, what is the purity of that raw materials. And if you will find that yes, something is missing, then you go to the place where raw material is to be kept. There is a store officer. You go there, you ask the store officer, give me your record book or logbook, and you read that logbook. In this also they have written in per day how much quantity of raw material is transferred to the production site. So here you are getting a quantity of raw material which is to be used in the production. Secondly, from the purchasing bill, we will find that what is the quality of raw material, what is the purity of raw material. Because every time the raw material which are supplying to them, that supplier has gives to test report, okay, purity of this chemicals or anything is this much, and this much quantity we have supplied, this much of water remain in this, everything they have written in their test report. You read, you ask for the test report. From that also you come to know, because they have to pay a money as per the purity of a raw material which is to be supplied by the supplier. As per that they are billing and they are charging and they are paying. So here also you will get certain idea about the material which is to be used in the production site. right? Here you will spend near about 30 to 45 minutes, means it is 12 o'clock. Then you go to the shop where they are manufacturing process. During the working time, you discuss with the responsible person that in reactor what type of chemical reactions are occur. You have prepared at your office chemical reaction is this exothermic, endothermic, anything. Then he will tell you that this reaction is this type of reaction, and then you ask, okay, what is the rate of chemical reaction? How much time is required for conversion of raw material to the product? Then you ask, after the manufacturing process, when you can you get a sub product or any other things? Then you will find the yes, here is the product is this much quantity, then the sub product is this much quantity, and pollutant is this much quantity. You see here where you are working in your office at that time, it is a duty of chemical engineer to calculate during the reaction how much pollution load will occur. What are the pollution load index? And as per the index, industries is categorized in which color? Red, blue, green, or white. Because from the color also you come to know that these industries are producing the maximum amount of pollutant or a minimum amount of pollutant. So here so many idea is clear in your mind that the reaction is second order reaction. Byproduct is this, product is this, and x ton of raw material converted into y ton of product, and y plus 1, y minus 1 time of sub product, and other is pollutant. Then you go to the industries. Now on the floor of industries, you see the reaction chamber, how reactions are occur, that you can able to see from the glass. Then they said we are using a solvent. What solvent they are using? How many quantity of solvent used in the system, and how much quantity of solvent recover in the system. Suppose 100 ton 100 ml 100 liter of solvent they are using, and recovery is 95%, so what about 5%? This type of question should be arise in your mind. Suppose it is 5%, where you are using this 5%? It means either recovery plant have some fault, or during the reaction temperatures arise and solvent will goes to the atmosphere. Then again it is air pollutant. How they are controlling it, how much fogger are there which control the odor of that solvent, or any sprinkling methods are there by which they are controlling the odor. That should be, you have to ask that responsible person. And if you find a odor in the industry, immediately you write down the solvent recovery is not perfectly done by the industries. Then you go that solvent extraction plant, how they are recovering, what temperature they are maintaining, what is the solvent, what is the boiling point of that solvent, what is the melting point of solvent, whether the boiling point is maintained in the systems, either the melting point is maintained in the systems, that you have to see. This is the work of auditor, and that is the work of mainly chemical engineer. So here you are finding a near about one hours and 30 minutes, and at that time your time is now 12:30 or 1:30. Then you go for the lunch, and in this you are finding you are spending 1 hours, means at the 2:30 you are free from the lunch. Then you have to visit a boiler house. Now visit of boiler house is very much important. Because of that, this in the boiler house, the fuel which is to be used is creating air pollutant. So you have a knowledge regarding the APC system, how air pollution is controlled by the industries, that you are knowing, then first question to that particular man, that what fuel you are using in the boiler. Then they said, yes, we are using the boiler in this coal. What is the analysis of coal? What result they are producing? What quantity of certain amounts are sulfur, nitrogen, anything is remain in this. So you should have a knowledge regarding the proximate analysis and ultimate analysis. This is very much important. Nobody is knowing, because during the interview, when I am asking to the students or this auditor, okay, what is the what type of analysis is made by the analysis of fuel, by which method you are analyzing the fuel? Do you know name of that method? Proximate and ultimate analysis. So if you read that, and from that you will come to know that coal have a 2% of sulfur, this much percentage of S, this much percentage of nitrogen, this much percentage of carbon, and during the use of that fuel and air, you will find how much sulfur is converted into SO2, CO2, NO2, anything. You see, sometimes the coal which are used, they have a higher percentage of sulfur, 7% of sulfur. Then at time you will getting so many quantity of SO2, and for controlling of that SO2 is very difficult. Scrubber require every 1 hour or 2 hour change of scrubbing agent. So this analysis is very much important. They have that analysis because when they are purchasing the coal or any fuel from the anywhere, first thing is they have to supplier has to produce a analytical report of that particular fuel. From this report, you come to know that what type of pollutant created by this fuel in use of boiler. Suppose sometimes I find sulfur is higher, then you say, why are not controlling sulfur here at place? So many, you have learned advanced systems. In advanced system, one system is there, injection of lime. So here you have to use this injection of lime for controlling of sulfur before use of this fuel in the boiler. તમે વાંચજો, એ મેથડ તમને શીખવાડેલી જશે એડવાન્સ મેથડમાં. So in this, by this way, here you will come to know that what type of pollutant created by the boiler during the use of fuel. Right. Now, SO2, particulate matter. So first, what we have to control? First, you know, that is cyclone, multi-cyclone, single cyclone, double cyclone. Then you see that cyclone is working very effectively. You see, in the S 30 to 40, that also you know that in S how much percentage of this higher gravity components are there. So which will be removed by the cyclone, multi-cyclone or cyclone. So here you find out and you ask them that how much bottom S you are finding in the cyclone. And from that bottom S, you come to know that how much fly S is to be carried forward from this cyclone. Then scrubber. In scrubber, they are using scrubbing agent, that you know because that is discussed by the expert. Now, as an auditor, our question is that what is the pH of this scrubbing agent? For SO2, it should be alkaline. If he said pH is 7.8, it is not sufficient. So pH is very important for scrubber. And scrubber, what type of scrubber they are using? Dry scrubber, wet scrubber. Dry scrubber, if they are using, then you say, what is the drying agent you are using? where you are throwing this dry agent, because dry agent is finally converted into solid waste. And this scrubbing agent, wet scrubbing agent is converted into wastewater. And they have to discharge it is to the wastewater treatment plant. So it is very important to know about APC system, which is to be remain in that industries. After scrubbing agent, filter bag filter, you go to the bag filter house, and what you will see there, whether big filter is working perfectly or not, how you come to know? You see, outside of bag filter, there is a system which measures a pressure. If pressure is down, if pressure drop is there, then bag is not working perfectly. Also, outside of that bag filter, temperature is also temperature. You can get a temperature, and automatic temperature device is to be set there, and from this you will find what temperature are under the bag house. Then you ask at up to what temperature this bag is working, and if it is higher or lower than this, then there is a problem into removal of the fly ash or other particulate matter from the bag filter. Then you ask, what is the efficiency of bag filter? Efficiency of scrubber, efficiency of cyclone. And if it is as per your calculation, which you have done in the office, then it's all right. If it is plus minus 10%, then it's all right. But if it is more than that, then you should ask, what is the reason of this? And if they are not knowing, then you suggest that reason. This is the reason. Why pressure drop is there, it means some bag are not working. It damaged. Find out how much, which tape are damaged, which bag are damaged. Number of bags are there, more than 200, 300. Out of that, if 50 bags are damaged, then pressure drop is there. Then you say, why bag is damaged? Then only one factor are there by which bag is damaged, that is temperature and thickness of that bag. So you tell them what is the thickness of bag, what is the capacity of bag to remove a particulate matter, at what temperature it work, and then you suggest them, you do this change in your bag house, you will get the result. Then you go to the where you will go last, which is the last point, which remove a suspended particle, ESP, electrostatic precipitator. Electrostatic precipitator is a very nice device, and in this we are getting 90 to 95% removal of a particulate matter. For this, I give one example to you that before 30 years, when we visit a thermal electricity plant of Sabarmati, that is at that time it is work under the AEC, Ahmedabad Electricity Board, and problem of that fly ash or SPM is very much higher. If you are sleep on the terrace of your house in night, and when you awake in the morning, you will find that your chadar is converted in black. It is due to the only this thermal plant. Then we have suggested that you use bag filter and this ESPM. At that time, ESPM is a very new concept, and they use it and they get the result. Nowadays, you see, there is no air pollution by this torrent plant. So, to find out the problem and solving the problem is the work of auditor. So here you will pass your 2 hours, maximum hours you have to spend here, because air pollution, a major problem is of air pollution in everywhere. Wastewater treatment plant working very effectively because we have now so many methods for the treatment. As solid waste we are dumping on the site, so it does not give any problem. Secondly, we have find another system that this solid waste is used by the other industries, so we can transfer that these industries, and government is giving a permission to use of that. Because you see plastic waste, paper mills are producing a very large amount of plastic waste and paper waste. They are utilizing in the boiler as a fuel, so it is utilization, recycling. So everybody will tell you 3R is very important, reuse, recycle. This is very important. And if you are suggesting this type of a reuse of the waste to the other industry are very happy because they get money from that. And you have only knowledge because you are visiting 15 industries and you know all the 15 or position of all the 15 industries, where they are, what they are using and what they are producing, what is their waste. And if this waste is utilized by the other industry, that knowledge you have because your visit is 15 of industries. So by this way, 2-3 hours you have to pass in the boiler house. When they are charging a fuel to the boiler, it is very important because when they are charging at that time, maximum of particular matter will be found. So you suggest the method, by this way you transferred, by this way you use. This is the work of a auditor. So after 2 hours meant 5 o'clock, and you go for tea and everything, then you go to the treatment system where your chemist and microbiologist there. Then you pass your time 1 hour here, how they are collecting the sample, whether methods which are to be used in the process is perfect or not. Everything you have to see. You find out also nowadays, though, every treatment plant have an online analysis meter. They are analyze pH online, they are analyze COD online, they are analyze TDS is online, so immediately will get the result. So, and then in the wastewater treatment plant, first part, what is the first part of this treatment plant? You have studied it. Okay, first part is the primary treatment. In engineering, we are telling primary treatment, secondary and tertiary, but actually not primary. What is the primary? It is chemical treatment, not primary. But we engineer always making a simple to every, you see, many abbreviation we are using. For wastewater, we say WW, isn't it? So this is our habit to convert a large number to this small number. It is the application of knowledge. Yes, that's why you are engineer. So now in the treatment system, what you have to check? First you have to check whether the wastewater which are coming from the source have a what type of a pollutant, organic pollutant, inorganic pollutant, or any other. Grit chamber, they are giving a filter or grit chamber. Then you see what is the efficiency of grit chamber because it's removing inorganic component. Whether they are removing inorganic or organic. What is the flow of this water to the grit chamber? How they are converting a constant flow because it's require constant flow. For constant flow, what device they are giving, that you check. In this, you have to spend 10 to 15 minutes. And you asked a man which with you that what is the efficiency of the grit chamber. If grid chamber is working efficiently, then maximum TDS or SS will be contribute to the primary treatment plant. After grid chamber, oil grease removal chamber. That you have to see whether this oil grease removal chamber are working or not. Then you will find collection tank. Sometimes you will find neutralization and collection tank, anything. Now, in collection tank, the sample, the wastewater which are coming, what is the characteristic of that? You have a pH paper, you see that by means of paper, what is the pH? You ask that what will be the inlet COD of this wastewater in the treatment plant. And from this, you can conclude certain things in your mind. Suppose pH is 4 and COD is 2000. So, what you will conclude in your mind? In our mind, we come to know that the organic pollutant which are to be remain in the wastewater are soluble in acidic pH. Because you see, organic compound have a characteristic. If they are soluble in acidic pH, then always they are insoluble in alkaline pH. And if it's soluble in alkaline pH, they are insoluble in acidic pH. It is the characteristic. And for this knowledge, you have to read one book, Organic Chemistry by Morris and Boyd. You read this book. And in beauty of this Morris and Boyd book is good. This book having a guide of book. You see, English book never English book have a no guide. But this book, only this one book is there which have a guide. And in this guide, you find a solution of the problem which are to be given end of the topic. Every topic have a question, and every topic have a question, and question have a solution of that question is in the guide. If you read perfectly that organic chemistry by Morris and Boyd, you are very able, efficient chemist in the system or chemical engineer in the audit system. Okay. So in treatment plant, suppose you find COD is higher and pH is acidic, it means all the organic component pollutants are soluble in acidic pH, means acid solution, acidic water. And that you have calculated at your office that this much is the pollution load, PL, and it is the PLI. As per that pollution load, COD is there or not, that also you have to calculate in your office. And if you find it is okay, it is all right. Now you see here, if you will find 60 to 40, 40 to 60% removal of a pollutant, then it is a good efficient plant. Then you ask that person how much pollution load is controlled by the primary treatment plant. How much pollution load are removing from the wastewater. And that you calculate from the COD value. Suppose he say now is 2000 COD, but after clarifier it is a 1000, means 50% is removal. It is good. But if he say 400 is removal, means 1600 is carry forward for the secondary treatment, then it is not perfect. Then you have to say, if you do a treatment, perfectly treatment and study its treatment system. So how will you study it? In your laboratory, you tell them the treatment study is required, and for this you have to give us a sample and we will see it whether this primary treatment perfectly work or not. Now, in the problem of the inefficiency of primary treatment is of pH, means insufficient of lime they are using or insufficient of coagulant they are using. You see, in one industries, organic pollutant which are remain in the wastewater, it not settled by the polyaluminum chloride or alum. At that time, I have suggested that you use a coagulant of sodium silicate, aluminum silicate in 60 to 40% mixture. Means 60% sodium silicate and 40% aluminum silicate. silicate SiO2 giving a negative coagulation. Means positive ion is settled by the SiO2 and a negative ion is settled by the aluminum. But then you have to calculate it, how much percentage of mixture I have to use. So you have to find out how much quantity of positive ion has remain as a pollutant and how much quantity of negative ion remain in the wastewater. And they get a result, and in the result they are able to remove near about 65% of organic pollutant. And then it work in the secondary treatment, because before that secondary treatment is not working because of the higher concentration of sulfate. You see, this type of knowledge you should have as an auditor. Okay, you can able to solve a problem at the site immediately. That's why I told you knowledge is very much important, which you will get from the different speaker. All are the experts, but understanding it is depend upon you. You have to understand. Nobody will understanding give a energy to you. Now you understand by this way. So by understanding of the knowledge is very much important. એટલે તમે જુઓ ગીતામાં પણ કૃષ્ણ એ જ અર્જુનને કહે છે કે ભાઈ તું સમજ, વાતને સમજ. દરેક વખતે કે સમજ તું ભાઈ આવું નથી, આવું છે. એટલે સમજણ, આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં એને સમજણ કહીએ. સમજણ બહુ જ અગત્યની છે, બહુ જ અગત્યની છે. કોઈ પણ વસ્તુને સમજવી બહુ અગત્યની છે. ન સમજો તો એકની વાત બીજી બની જાય. એને એક સરસ એક્ઝામ્પલ તમને કહું કે જ્યારે મિરર, you know mirror, nobody knowing it is a mirror. That type of village is there. In the village, nobody have an idea about the mirror. And one man from the garbage find a piece of mirror, and he see, oh, in this mirror, in this glass, some god is there. So he come to his house and he keep that piece of mirror in his bag, and every day he take that piece and he see his face. His missus is showing this. Then he said, see, think in his mind, her mind, that what he is observing every day in this glass, piece of glass. In absence of that man, he take that piece of glass and see her image is found in the glass. Oh, રોજે રોજ આ રૂપાળી છોકરી ના જોવે છે. And quarreling is started. Then his mother is said, what happened? So then his wife is said, every time he see a girl, face of girl in this glass. Give me that glass. And mother has said that glass, oh, what you finding in this old woman? Because no understanding is there. So understanding is very much important in the system, everywhere. Without understanding, knowledge will not help you. એટલે જો છેલ્લે પણ ગીતામાં ભગવાને કીધું કૃષ્ણ અને અર્જુનને કે હવે મેં તને બધું સમજાવી દીધું, સમજો હોય તો યુદ્ધ કર, ના સમજો હોય તો બેસી જા. So by this way, to understand how this coagulant work in the system, how this lime is working in the system for neutralization, what is the purity of lime. If purity is less, then what happens? Then you will find a higher quantity of solid waste. So by this way, you have to observe or inspect this primary treatment. Then you go to the secondary treatment plant. That is, name secondary is of, this name is given by the engineer, but actually it is biological treatment plant. In this you ask, what is the pH of this wastewater? what type of culture you are using in the secondary treatment, how much DO is of that secondary treatment, how much MLSS of this secondary at the immediately at the plant you measure the MLSS. If it is 30% or more than 30% to 40-50%, then plant will work efficiently, otherwise not. Then you ask what are you, where you are using the solid waste which is created by the secondary plant. Nowadays it is used in the boiler or by plasma technique. You know, plasma technique is there. I have seen in Bombay in one industries, they are, when they call me and I go there, and I have seen that they are using plasma technique for the treatment of secondary treatment waste, solid waste of the secondary treatment. Plasma technique is a technique in which get four state, three state we are knowing, solid, liquid, gas. Here is we are getting four state. Four state is converted into atom, and during the conversion you find a energy, and that energy you can utilize in the industry. That I have seen, and it is very, but it is a very costly method, so no other industries are using. But you see, this is also a technique. So you ask where you are using this secondary sludge of secondary treatment. You see, it can be used as a fertilizer in the plant, but at that time you require a certain certificate from the government pollution control board, and as well from the uh, agriculture university. Then you can use this waste as a fertilizer. Anyway, but you ask where you are using, how you are collecting, how you are converting into dry, isn't it? And then you go to the physical treatment plant, means tertiary plant, sand filter, carbon filter, or any advanced method. Here you see, you have to understand where you, when and where you have to use advanced treatment. Advanced treatment should be used for the zero discharge, mean the wastewater which have a refractive organic pollutant. At that time you have to use. And the you have learned the advanced treatment is hydrogen peroxide method, phantom reagent method, hydroelectro process, then electrocoagulation process. So many process you are knowing, which the expert have discussed with you. So this method should use after the sand filter and carbon filter. If after the sand filter and carbon filter, pollution load is not controlled, at that time you have to use, not at the first stage, because it is very costly method. And when you are using this advanced method, then other pollutant is created, then you have to control that pollutant. You know that. So here you have to find what is the efficiency of carbon tower and what is the efficiency of sand filter. Sand filter remove SS and carbon filter remove organic pollutant. It they may, can they remove 60 to 40% of pollution load, then it is all right. Then you go to the wastewater collection, treated wastewater collection sump, and you say there is also a flow meter. You take a reading of this, and then you say, okay, how much quantity of wastewater is being created by the industries per day, because it will be useful in your water balance system. Then you go to the place where solid waste is to be dumped. You find out that how much quantity of solid waste is generated by the industries. Their solid waste is hazardous solid waste or a simple solid waste, where they are sending this solid waste. They have a authorization or not. You have to see, give me your authorization letter, how much quantity you are sending. From the logbook of that place you find this much quantity of solid waste is transferred from here to the site, And if it is as per authorization, then it's all right. If it is not there, then you give a instruction to that particular man, okay, it is not good. You do by this way. Then you see how they covered the solid waste. It should be under the roof. There should not be any water will come. Otherwise, what happen? Water will react with the solid waste and wastewater is created. And everything is problem will occur. You collect a sample of solid waste. You have collected sample from all the places of wastewater treatment plant, and then at that time near about 6 o'clock will be there. Now one thing, at the every visit you have to take a reading from the noise level meter for noise everywhere during the whole visit, from uh, water tank to the treatment plant. Everything will be over, and at 6 o'clock or 6:15 or 6:30 again you go to the industry, you meet the managers and you discuss with them the problem which you find in the industries, whether the flow meter is not working, your pump is not and the pump is not transferring a water accurate strength which is given on the pump. Everything you can discuss with them. Wastewater is in wastewater treatment plant, the lime which are adding as purity is less or higher, anything. Then you can discuss the problem which you find during your visit with this manager. And then after then they are giving a tea or coffee, anything, and then you leave the laboratory. So by this way, this is the practical way of working in the industries. Now, during your visit, you should utilize the knowledge which you're getting from the different expert. So this is the utilization of knowledge, means it is application, and the first thing which you have got a knowledge, and if your knowledge perfectly applied to the system, this is the bhakti. તો આપણા ગીતાના 3 છે ને, કર્મયોગ, ભક્તિ યોગ અને જ્ઞાન યોગ. આ ભક્તિ યોગ એ છે કે તમારી સમજણથી જે કાર્ય બરોબર થાય તો તમારું કાર્ય બરોબર કહેવાય. Okay, now 5-6 minutes is remain. If you have any question, then you tell me and we will discuss it.
First of all, sir, thank you so much for such an elaborative session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks to
And
all.
yes,
Yes.
do we have any questions? Actually, sir, there was one question in the chat box. I will narrate that question.
Yes.
That what is the accountability of individual auditor and what is legal provisions made against them by GPCB?
You see, responsibility of auditor is to audit perfectly as per the rules which is to be given in the books. You know that book. One book is published by the GPCB, Audit at Glance. You read
Hmm.
that book. In this book, everything is given, how to prepare a report and everything. In the report, accountability is this: when report come to us, then we will see about the water balance and wastewater quantity which are to be produced by the industries. If it is does not match it, then the GPCB will it means report is not perfect. Secondly, calculation of pollutant, it is very important. If calculation is not perfect and pollution load is different and your analysis is different, then it is a problem. Third thing is that when you are visiting, that at that time how you behave with the industrial people, it is also very important. Fourth is that in the report which you have written about the air pollution and air pollution control systems and the scrubbing agent or everything, if it is not perfect, then also it create the problem. Means in your report everything should be very perfectly written, and it should be calculated by you that pollution lead is X and removal is Y. X minus Y is more than 100. It means your analysis is not perfect. So by this way, this is the accountability, that every which things you are perfect, that you perfectly work, you analyze perfectly, give your compliances, and if your compliances is not perfect, then we will give you a notice, and after the notice you should be de-recognized. We are calling to you and your industry, and then we will discuss with you and industry, and then we are disqualified or anything. Okay.
Okay. Next question, uh, Abhay Nagle sir.
Hmm.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean,
Welcome.
I feel backfilter is a very abused equipment. You
Yes.
also mentioned that.
Hmm.
When I go to the plant, I mean, I had discussed with some other speaker also. Uh, Backfilter failure normally it takes place once in a year or twice in a year, or at least once in 2 years. But when we ask the industry, they say, no, 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 we are very perfect and we don't see any backfilter failure. So I mean, and it's very easy to, I mean, it's not very easy to find that out because, that record is never maintained that we had polluted the air to this extent on that particular day when you visit them after a month or so. And the second abuse that is done is in the cooling tower, evaporation and drift losses. Uh,
Yes.
I mean, excess water is always added in those losses. As such, if you go do the thermodynamic calculations, the
Hmm.
theoretical vaporization loss should be around 1.8%. And the drift
Yes.
losses cannot be more than 1%. But
Right.
here I have found, 7%, 8% like that. And, the
Mm-hmm.
things are very
It means they
difficult.
are adding a water.
They are trying to hide their water somewhere. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel. But it's very difficult for me to really pinpoint that, yes, I can only pinpoint that these losses are very high and beyond explanation in the report.
No,
But
no, then you have to instruct the industry and give
yeah,
a letter in written, and then you give a copy to the GPCB. This type of
sure,
problem is here, and they are not hearing us.
true,
Because
true,
when you
true.
go the second time, at that time the problem should be solved by the industries which you have created during your visit.
No, no. Actually, once we go in the first time, no,
Mhm.
that time only we collect the data, these, that. And when I try to find out in the second this thing, we tell them that, look, this is not matching, that is not matching for the audit period. Naturally, we have to see the audit period also. So then,
Mhm.
yes, of course, we had done some correspondence with the industry, but I don't know whether we had informed GPCB on this or not. But in the
No, but
report, it is clearly mentioned.
But if it is in the report, and because we are what we are doing, we are randomly check that report. Near about 10 to 20% report which we find, from that we are selecting it, and then we are sending this report to the other colleges which are to be
Hmm.
working as an external auditor.
Yeah.
And after the study of their people, they will give us a idea that this type of faults are in the report, then we are giving a notice to you, our auditor, or to the industries.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Dr. Gautam Chauhan.
Hmm. Yes.
Dr. Gautam Chauhan, I have unmuted you. Okay. He has asked a question in the chat box that which is the best technique to reduce zero discharge?
For best technique to remove to find a
Reduce zero discharge.
for this
So to achieve zero discharge. Huh?
ha, ha, when you are when you are studying the characteristic of wastewater, and if you find the pollutant which are remain in the wastewater which cannot be treated by the conventional system, then you go for the advanced system. And if it is not able to you are not able to treat that wastewater by the advanced system, then you go for the incinerator or multi-effective operator or anything. And when you are going for the study of zero discharge, then you have to study that what type of characteristic having by the wastewater. What is the COD? Whether we can treat it or not treat it. It is not treatable. Then and then finally you have to go for this zero discharge. Not for anything. Because zero discharge is very costly method. Incineration is very costly method. I think so near about 23 to 25 rupees per liter is to be used in the incinerator. Fuel, electricity, everything. And multi-effective operator also costly. So what is our aim? To reduce a cost for the of the treatment of wastewater, and secondly it should be treated. If it is not there, if you cannot able, then naturally you have to go for this.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Taylor sir, one more question is in chat box. That is from Ranjan Mahajan.
Ranjan Mahajan. I have already unmuted her. Can you please, Ranjan Mahajan, ma'am? I'm just asked. Yes. Can you please ask yourself?
Yes, sir. Good
Okay.
afternoon, sir. Oja, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
you're
Yes, yes,
audible.
yes, you are audible.
ओझा सर नमस्कार
Namaskar,
मैं
namaskar.
यूनिस्टार से रंजन महाराज एक्चुअली सर
Okay.
थोड़ा सा एक मेरा डाउट था
क्या
और
बताइए?
आप जब बता रहे थे एक्चुअली एज ए माइक्रोबायोलॉजिस्ट जहाँ तक मेरे को पता है तो माइक्रोबायोलॉजी में दो तरह का टेक्निक्स होते हैं, एक मेम्ब्रेन फिल्ट्रेशन टेक्निक एंड एक मल्टीट्यूब फॉर्मेटेशन टेक्निक। तो मेम्ब्रेन फिल्ट्रेशन टेक्निक से जो होता है वो CFE होता है, कॉलोनी फॉर्मिंग यूनिट्स पर ml और पर 100 ml, ये होता है यूनिट। और एमपीएन होता है मोस्ट प्रोबेबल नंबर, जो कि मल्टीट्यूब फॉर्मेटेशन टेक्निक से करते हैं, जो कि टर्बिड या फिर जिसको हम फिल्टर आउट नहीं कर सकते हैं उसके लिए करते हैं। और एक्चुअली एक जो मेरा डाउट था ये है कि बायोएसे टेस्ट इज नॉट कवर्ड इन the microbiological part. Actually it is a toxicological test in which
Yes.
we look about the cumulative effect on the of the toxins in the biological organism, which is the end receptor.
You're right. You see, toxicity is very important for the treated water.
Yes,
Treated
definitely sir.
wastewater, because when you are discharging this treated wastewater to the water bodies, then the living animals are there in the discharge place, and if they are affected by your discharge, that's why then it create the problem. So
Yes
the
sir,
aquatic
right.
life which are remain in that particular source or particular place where you are discharging, the aquatic life cannot be disturbed by discharging your wastewater. That's why what we are doing, bioassay test. We are collecting a living organism from that particular place, and then we are doing this bioassay test, and we are finding toxicity of wastewater.
Right
But
sir.
you see, it will be when you have to perform it, if it is prescribed by the GPCB or any other government agency.
Right sir. Right sir, got it sir. Thank you sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any more questions? Okay, I suppose we can conclude, sir. Oja sir.
But
Okay, एक आमिर
you
एक
tell
ज मिनट
all to them, okay,
हाँ
if they have any question, then they can
ओके
write to me or they can phone me, but not in between 1 to 3 noon.
ओके there is one question, Amir Mullah sir. I have made you the presenter. You can ask the question.
Uh, Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
This is not a question, but you have mentioned two books in your session time. One is Environment Audit at a Glance, and another is Organic Chemistry by Morris. So
Yes.
the name of author for first book is known, but I want to know more about the name of author of Environmental Audit book.
That is published by
Audit at a
GPCB. There is
Glance.
no author. It is published
It is
by
by
the
GPCB.
Yes, and it is available on the
Okay.
site even.
Okay, sir. One more question, sir. One of the
Yes.
participant, I don't remember his name. I am a professor in a Ferguson College, Pune. But the question raised by one of the auditor who is practicing it. The question was during a monitoring audit. We are in a factory from say 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. But we need a noise readings even of a night time. So how auditors can means manage this thing? Because at a night time we are not in the factory.
Yes, you're right. You are right. You say that is depend upon the auditor. If you will find or any complaint from the society that during the night time we are finding more noise from the industries, then you have to measure. If there is no problem, then what is the use to create a new problem? Understand it, because noise.
Yes,
You
yes,
say
yes.
you
I
say
got
you
it.
say
I got
in
it
my
from academic point of view. From
you say in
yes, sir.
my
From
life
academic point of view, there is no issue.
uh, in my auditor life, I find two times of this type of problem. Once from the Reliance Naroda, peoples of the society has complained to the GPCB that the Reliance industry is creating a very high quantity of noise and it give us a trouble. Okay, fine. Then we visit that industry. We have measured from every stage of that noise level, from the shop, from the outside, from the office of the director, from the gate, and then we goes to that particular place of village and we measured that noise level. Actually noise level is higher because of they are using certain other things. One in the one place, at one place they are crushing the stone. During the crushing they are giving a very very high noise. So we said this noise you are using in industries are not responsible. Second case we find in Morbi, one state bank is there and the state bank is on rent and the landlord is said you vacate this place because I want more money from the other party. But it is not possible by the bank, so they go to the court and court give us a problem that you find out whether noise higher noise is created by the bank or any other way. Then we go there. We have measured noise level in the bank everywhere. Then we go to that their house and we measured a noise level of their AC. It is higher than that. Problem is that he want vacant place for the another purpose. Bank want to not to vacate this bank place. So then we have give to the report to the court and court is agree with this. So this noise level, actually we are telling it is noise pollution. But you see, if you are in the marriage and you are hearing DJ, whether it is noise level is higher or lower, it is higher than
Very
100
much
dB.
high. Hmm.
But you are dancing, you are enjoying this thing, isn't it? And if in your house you find somebody, your neighbor doing something and you are finding noise, oh, I can't sleep here. So noise pollution is depend upon our mind. It is related with the mind. If you are accepted it, then there is no problem. If you are not accepting, then there is a problem. This is a practical talk. It as a theoretical, it is noise pollution. So that's why they are to be fined and everything. That is as per the law. But you see, when your marriage is
Thank you,
near to
sir.
your
This is one
neighbors,
of the
then you
best session.
tell me what
Yes,
is
yes,
the
sir. This is
problem.
one of the best sessions. We enjoyed almost all the sessions from all the speakers.
Thank you.
But the way you gave a timeline, morning 9 when we enter in the factory, then the distribution of time, how much time to be spent on the wastewater treatment plant, then how to move on, what information to obtain during even in a walkway, how to interact with the people, how to cross verify the things from flow meter, log sheets, purchase of the books, bills, and everything. That was it was like in a virtual demo. We were in the some organization doing the same thing. I was imagining it. So thank you for the overall very good uh, explanation of environmental audit. Thank you, sir.
Because they have given me this type of topic. No, everything, this thing is not written in any book.
Yes, yes, it's a real life experience at the
Yes.
time of
Yeah,
the
it's your
monitor and audit.
experience, sir. It's your experience, sir.
Okay.
Dr.
Fine.
Amir, you are from which college?
Sir, I am from Ferguson College, Pune.
Ferguson.
Okay,
Department of
Fine.
Environmental Science, Ferguson College, Pune.
okay, okay, okay. So, are there any provision for environmental audit at for the industries located at Pune?
There are a lot many, sir, industrial belts. Pune is known for its industries, sir, and lot many people are doing here. Yes, there are a lot many NGOs, sorry, environmental consultants, firms, even pollution control board office is there in Pune.
Okay, and they are conducting environmental monitoring
Yeah,
at
yeah, they are
industry.
doing a lot. They are doing a
Not
lot.
audit.
Okay, okay.
And
Audit is not the
Pune
right
is
answer.
covered under SUFFER program also, na? So Pune's air quality for ambient air quality is projected at various places through
Mhm.
IITM and SUFFER. There is an initiative. So ambient air is also monitored through online monitoring stations, and the results are displayed at various places. Four metropolitan cities are under that program. I think Ahmedabad is also there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have it's good infrastructure and people who are in the
Actually,
environmental audit.
Have you got any observation of that regular of your that online air pollution meter? You have seen that?
Yes, sir. Data is available
What
even
result?
during.
What result they are giving? What result they are giving?
They are giving, sir, air quality indices
Right.
in a color
But
coded form,
what
so
is the
that even for a layman it becomes easier to understand.
and what is the result in night?
Most of the time, sir, in Pune, we don't have any worse situation. This air quality is good.
Okay, fine. It is very good. Means all the industry
Thank you,
have
sir.
a APC system is efficient. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you so much,
Gaurav
sir.
Agarwal.
Oh,
Dr. Gaurav Agrawal.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Good day.
Sir, I
But
have
I
one
say
doubt
I
actually.
not good day. For me, it is good night.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. Sir, I have one doubt actually
Yes.
regarding wastewater outlet parameters
Hmm.
like COD. In
Hmm.
some industry, like COD value is 250 mg per liter.
Hmm.
Then regarding bioassay test, it is good to conduct bioassay test at COD 250.
You see, COD have a no role in the bioassay test. Toxicity is related to the bioassay test. Toxicity may be produced by the inorganic component or organic component. You
Okay,
see,
sir.
not only organic component produce toxicity, inorganic component also produce toxicity. So here we are not thinking about the organic pollutant or inorganic pollutant. We have to think the water which we are discharging in water body cannot affect on the aquatic life which are remain in that water. That is our aim.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
If
Okay.
bioassay says toxicity is 0 and organic pollutants COD will find more. Suppose sugar. In sugar mill, the wastewater which is produced by the sugar mill, these have no toxicity. Treated wastewater, they are discharging in the river, but no aquatic life will affected by that, isn't it?
Right.
Actually,
Right.
this water is treatable because BOD is very higher, so that you can treat this water by bacteriological treatment, either aerobic or anaerobic. But you see, sugar, excess of sugar is toxic for human life, but we cannot remain without sugar. Excess salt is also poisonous or toxic for the human life, but we are not able to remain without salt. Can you remain without salt? Immediately you will tell to your wife, oh क्या बनाया है खाना, इसमें तो मीठा तो नमक तो है ही नहीं, ऐसा है ना?
Right,
So
sir.
toxicity is the different, and organic pollutant which are producing COD is the different.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I hope we can conclude here.
Okay.
ઓકે ન્યુઝીલેન્ડમાં 9:30 વાગી ગયા, 11:30 વાગ્યા હશે, સુવાનો ટાઈમ થઈ
હા,
ગયો હશે.
11:30 વાગ્યા એટલે તો મેં કીધું મારા માટે ગુડ નાઇટ છે.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time.
Okay.
Thank you once again, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
to
sir.
મળીએ.
all,
Thank you.
and
Good night,
thank you
sir.
to all
Good night. Good
participants,
night, sir.
and good night.
Good night, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.